up, Sagittarius gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards today. These will be general tarot messages for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Of course, anyone is welcome to join this reading. I just ask that you come in with an open heart, with an open mind, and only take away the messages that resonate with you, that motivate you, speak to you, inspire you, empower you. That's what I'm wanting to do here today. So if you're not feeling that way, click off. It might not be your message this week, okay? All right, let's do it for Sagittarius. Thanks for your patience, guys. I took a week off, which turned into 2 weeks accidentally, but anyway, long story short, that solar eclipse just like fucking killed me. It was a lot. It was like really draining. So anyway, my energy is good today, so we're going to do it. Here we go. Sagittarius, one more shuffle and we'll jump in. That was a good one. That one felt good. All right, here we go. What can I tell Sagittarius? Possibly something with a Scorpio. An offer from a Scorpio might be coming in. If not, the death card could also represent the ending of a cycle. Usually not a literal death for those who are new to tarot. I don't really read for that anyway. But cycle changes, right? Frequently with the death card, it's embracing an ending of some kind, what you need to release in order to make room for something new. Yeah, I mean, you could actually be transitioning into a really beautiful partnership with a Scorpio. Maybe it's romantic, maybe it is business, maybe it's just a new friend and you guys are kind of kicking ass together. And Four of Wands represents usually milestones, most frequently in relationships. Now, it doesn't have to be, maybe you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart if you're cuspy or your Venus or Mercury. Something with scorpionic energy is coming through, which is really about kind of the regeneration of life, right? There's an ending, there's a cycle of death, winter, if you will, right? And then in the springtime, we start to get those little buds again, those leaves. So there's actually a lot of growth coming through, but in Gemini season specifically, which we're in now, which is opposite you guys on the zodiac wheel, yeah, there's this split of severing off what doesn't serve you and then embracing what does. Some of you just frankly are embracing a more lighthearted energy, but also making more room in your life for a very significant or important relationship. Something about dancing. I don't know if that's literal or a metaphor, but there's something about, there's a very, it feels so good. There's like a very warm, happy, bubbly, very Sagittarian, high vibe Sagittarian of just kind of like dancing with life. Embracing what comes your way and releasing the sense of dread. And also, if you are a self-proclaimed workaholic, you're starting to understand balance more, especially in terms of spending time with those you love most, and allowing work to take a back seat every now and then. I know some of you are like, oh, that's not me. Well, it might be. Never say never. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. A Scorpio may be making, I'm hearing proposals, but it doesn't have to be wedding proposals. It could be courting you, romancing you, inviting you to meet the family or to go on a trip with them or something about that. Something with a Scorpio looks very positive. It looks very fun. And do keep in mind, again, this could be friendship as well. Too many cards. We'll take the ones that flew face up here. But what is this? But you guys are worried that your job is suffering because of it. Yeah, that's very interesting. The first message I got was you're starting to pull away from work in a very positive way. You're starting to nurture relationships in your life more that mean the world to you. But with that, it's almost like you feel guilty when you go into work because you've been, I don't know if you've been slacking or work has been put on the back burner. I don't know, you're worried about your finances. I don't know if you're spending a lot of money on your romantic prospect or suitor, or just, I don't know, spending money going on vacation and dates. Hold on, let me look at this here. Because the thing is, I think this perception of I'm not meeting the mark or I'm falling behind, I'm not sure how much of that is true. What is this Five of Cups? Give me a second here, Sag. I'm just trying to kind of see where the storyline is going. I should probably look at these because they flew out. Hold on. All right, so the Lovers, the Knight of Wands. Let me spread these out. There's a couple different scenarios coming through, and so I can't do, obviously, like a 50-minute video. So I want to give you, like, the most important one. What is going on here? The Five of Cups. The Five of Cups usually has to do with a loss, crying over spilt milk, woe is me. And I don't say that to attack you by any means. Those are just simply definitions of this card. The key with this, though, any five in tarot, they're agents of change and chaos. So someone here is going through some sort of emotional transition. The silver lining, and there absolutely is the silver lining to this card, is that two cups still remain, but the person isn't necessarily seeing it. Oh, so now I'm starting to wonder if the story goes the opposite way. Okay, the more I look at this, the first story still goes, but if some of you are not feeling like that's your message, I'm wondering if the opposite is true. And maybe it's both, but I'm almost getting this idea that if you are in a committed relationship or partnership, you may have felt like you, pardon the term, but like blew it because you put so much time and energy into work, which understandably, you have very strong work and money cards coming through here. But because of that, do you feel like you didn't nurture a relationship? So something that once upon a time was very happy, does the death card here represent an ending? So it's up to you. It's your story. You are just as much an active participant in this as I am. I'm just sort of reading the cards in terms of the storyline here. So this is either the ending of something or the transition into something else. Maybe it's both, Sag. If you are currently partnered up and you would all resonate with like the workaholic vibe, forewarned is forearmed, or is that the right expression? You have the ability to change this, right? Not everything is fated, right? I do believe in destiny, but more or less, I think, again, you are an active participant in your life. So there is a need to find balance and not, I hate to say don't, or, not do this, but essentially like, if you've been giving a lot of effort and energy into something, you have to understand that you won't always be able to maintain that absolute dedication, and you may need to pull back your energy a little bit, especially from work matters. And I guess I'm just being called to ask you, where do you feel your relationships, past or present, have suffered because you've really struggled to pull yourself away from work? I would say, generally speaking, a lot of my Sagittarians out there, at least in this reading, tend to be very hard workers, very dedicated workers. But because of that, do you almost over-nurture that side of your life because it is the most controlled, because it is more consistent, because you can show up to work and kick ass? And it's almost like that's a huge part of your life that gives you a sense of pride and accomplishment, and it makes you feel good about yourself, right? Kicking ass at work. Nothing wrong with that, but I just keep wanting to say something about this. Relationships will suffer if you don't sort of balance out that scale. It's something about Gemini season and the duality, this and that. Can it be both? Can they work together? A lot of you may be on the fence about your relationship because it either impacts your work in a negative way, or you just simply don't have time for what you used to do. And I mean, again, that's a choice. Are you willing to transition into a more, I don't know if this is committed relationship, marriage, in order to uphold this friendship, this relationship, this romantic partner, or do you not see value in it? A lot of you do seem to be questioning. I'm almost getting this idea of feeling a little bit spiteful, especially if you have a partner who is constantly criticizing you for not being there. And again, I get that, but it's a two-way street. So if your person is showing up to the relationship and you're not, well, I don't gotta tell you, right? Yeah, it's a two-way street. You both got to put equal amounts of energy and effort into that. Yeah, and I mean, as much as I would love this to be very clear and precise, I can just tell there's different storylines coming through. So the facts, the very specific details of who this is or how it relates to you, it's going to differ a little bit. That's just kind of how tarot works. Some of you, again, it's funny. I actually almost said alcoholic. So just putting it out there, if any of you resonate with that. Any aholic, right? Whatever you're overdoing, Jupiter energy, right? Extreme, abundance, overdoing it. In a lower vibe, that can be very attributed to Sagittarian-like qualities. If you're overdoing it, other parts of your life are going to suffer, and also you may be setting up false expectations for how much you can contribute to this area of your life long-term, longevity, right? So then let's look at these. So many cards came out, but I have a feeling it's going to help me clarify this a little bit. Holy Lord, do you have a lot of cards? I literally can't even like put them all in a row. Need a longer table here. All right, so what is the storyline here? A lot of you, gosh. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I definitely kind of have that message coming through. It seems like you guys either you have a catch in your life right now, like there's someone you're really jonesed about or really stoked to be with, but if they start to pull you away from your work and your career, your livelihood, that's a part of your life a lot of you are not willing to negotiate about. So some of you, you're going to take a break, but I think in the long term, some of you are going to realize that this person was actually coming from a good place when they want to spend more time with you. Of course, healthy boundaries, right? I'm not saying you need to be with this person 24/7, but it does kind of seem like you're at a crossroads. You are at a major change in a relationship where it's like, do we go in on this even further or do we call it quits because we just don't seem to be in alignment anymore? I would say this. I agree that some of you are not quite in alignment anymore, but I also see you both being very heavy-hearted about ending this. And it comes down to the question, like judgment is looking back to the past, looking back on the memories, the good times, the bad times, and coming to some sort of major conclusion, a major completion of the cycle. It leads to the world. The major awakening or question, really, you should be asking yourself about this is, are you willing to fight for it? Do you have enough reason, purpose, desire, drive, ambition to make both of these things work together? Or by doing that, are you spreading yourself too thin for a reason, for a relationship, for a person where, to be frank, you just don't see as much potential in it as you thought there was initially? It's tricky because I see you guys are so on the fence with this. And maybe it's because there's something very different or unique about this person that makes you want to fight for it, but at the same time, it's almost like it's almost like it might scare you a little bit because it's become so real that it's almost gotten to the point of whatever this is, engagement or serious commitment, or I don't know what this is, but this milestone you're reaching, this is the point in which you're like, am I in it or am I not? And the fact that you're contemplating this so deeply says to me, Sagittarius, that you do, in a sense, have love for this person, but it might be requiring you to give love or time or energy in a way that you don't feel like you're capable of doing right now. So in a sense, I applaud you for being protective of yourself, of your energy. Just make sure, Temperance, that's you, it's coming from a place of purity, of clarity, of light, versus shadow side, darkness, fear. Fear of commitment or fear of this impeding upon your freedom. Or the thing is, you'll know if this is shadow side or light side. Again, this duality, this death or rebirth, based on how this person treats you, especially in regards to respecting what it is you want to do and build in your life, allowing you to do that, but also setting expectations of what they need in a relationship. You can't fault them for being honest and asking more of you or requiring more from you if that's what they need in a relationship. And again, it's 50-50. You both are going to have to make some modifications to make this relationship work. And if you're both willing to have the discussion, it's possible that you will both fight for this. I have to be honest though. What I see is almost like a trial separation, because right now the answers are just not clear. And this, okay, in Gemini season, this is all, if you are a Sagittarius rising, this is all happening in your 7th house of committed partnerships, so that makes a lot of sense to me. There's a lot of action. And again, milestones in relationships. So some of you could have been recently engaged. For some of you, this could even be a long-term marriage. But the death card quite simply says people change. Life changes. It doesn't mean it's all ending. It just means we're making space for new opportunities, for new blessings. And with that, what do we need to release? For some of you, it's not your person. It's your control issues of needing to have whatever this is to you. It's not to say it's going to be gone or that you won't ever have it again, or that you're needing to make ridiculous compromises to please your person. It's not about that. It's about equilibrium. It's about balance. It's about you guys working together to show up to this relationship. And this feels like a very profound, heavy-hearted talk. That possibly circles around and around Gemini season, right? Kind of the mutable air signs, our thoughts, our mental energy. It comes and goes in spurts, but it's very quick. It's very fast paced. It's very Knight of Swords. There might even be some arguments about your guys' future together. I see multiple cards indicating you guys, I don't know if it's necessarily time apart. I think even if you are married, there may be some sense of we both kind of need to just like chill for a week and do our own thing and like process our own feelings and thoughts and emotions before we come back at this to have the discussion again. There is a lot of contemplation. There's a lot of divine wisdom around you. There's a lot of signs. You should meditate. You should journal your feelings and your thoughts. You should write out a note to your person just to kind of get the ball rolling of how you want to address this or what your concerns are. You don't have to send it to them, right? It's just this process of sort of dissecting, I'm hearing like regurgitating, sorry for the gross word, but like getting whatever is stuck in there, kind of festering in your mind, body, spirit. You got to get it out and on paper so that you can kind of extract it and work with it a little bit. Because to be honest, I think you're confused about how you're feeling too. I think you are being challenged to give up a piece of your life that meant a lot to you. But I think by looking at it as universe completely removing it and you needing to change for your person, that's the wrong perspective. It really does have to do with just kind of retooling it or reworking it and restructuring, reordering your life ever so slightly to promote a healthy lifestyle for you, as well as in any sort of partnership or friendship or business partnership. Anyway, sorry, going back to what I was saying, I do see multiple cards where you guys may try time apart. But the thing is, and I don't always say this, I never want to paint false hope, but if this relationship is as profound and important as it seems to be in the cards, generally speaking, you guys bring a lot of joy and light to each other's lives. I would say after some time apart, the Tower moment between you guys, I think you will very likely get back together. Do you have to? Absolutely not. If this is about a toxic ex who abuses you and doesn't treat you right, of course not. I would never advocate going back to that. I don't see any cards of toxic energy. The devil isn't here. I think the Tower is showing up is because you guys are so in this. I don't know. It's possible some new job opportunity comes up or just something. There's some sort of enlightenment or epiphany where someone is starting to stray from the plan. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe this. The Tower moment is like, again, that lightning bolt, that epiphany, that... I don't even think epiphany is the right word. I'm sorry. I'm going to backtrack. It shakes you to the core. It makes you have to stand up and reassess your values and what you want in life. And I think you guys, again, are in this crossroads of, well, what do I want? Is this relationship what I thought it was going to be? For a lot of you, it's, wow, this relationship ended up being so much better than I thought. I wasn't anticipating being married by next year. But I don't necessarily want to say your person's giving you an ultimatum, but more or less, I do sense, and this could go vice versa, I do sense that maybe there is a little bit of neglect in this relationship, and this person has been waiting for you to come around and sort of, I don't know how else to say it, do better. Now, this might be you, Sag, right? Especially if you're married to like a, married or dating, whatever, a King of Coins, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, very money savvy, very hard work ethic, all about the Benjamins, right? Male or female, this person needs to set healthier boundaries and be able to pull themselves away from kind of that workaholic, because everything in moderation, right? That's kind of a major message. Both of you are thinking about how this could transform, and you have such positive cards, but it comes and goes in waves. That's what I mean. So I don't know if it's completely a separation or you guys, I don't know. This could be one of those things where it's like you go spend the weekend at your parents' house because you kind of just have to be alone to process this. You both are looking in opposite directions, which to me says right now it seems like you guys are kind of on different pages and looking and desiring and wanting different things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's very good because by going and exploring those things that you still want to explore, it's very likely you're going to realize how much you do miss that connection and how it actually contributed to your life in a more positive way, even though right now one or both of you are seeing only the negative sides of it. That's what I mean with this Five of Cups. I actually feel like there's something to be salvaged here. And again, I just want to reiterate, you never have to go back to anyone. There's just something about this where it actually seems like you guys have a really solid foundation together, and what you bring to the table is so, there's like a magical energy here. So I don't know. I mean, it ends with the Lovers, which again has different connotations, but in this tarot deck, like, right? Like, that's pretty freaking sweet. Even the apple there, it's so funny. I kept wanting to call these cards like temptation. Something about there's the temptation to like dump this relationship and go after that new promotion at work, but because you know it's going to consume all your time, you're just like, I may as well sever it here. I would be really careful with that. I think that would be, I hate to say like a huge mistake. Again, you only take what resonates for you, but even this, it's like it can be sewn back together. It can be fixed. It can be altered. It can be shifted ever so slightly where you both get what you need out of this relationship and you can both have your own separate lives. It's not that you need to be chained and cuffed to this person. That would be devil energy, right? Make sure that they are not obsessed about you. Make sure that they are not just, what is a good word for it? Suffocating you, right? It's healthy to have individual lives, but all the more reason why, if you guys can do that and come back together and kick ass, why wouldn't you want to salvage this relationship or make some changes ever so slightly so that, I don't know, so that love wins in the end? I'm just a hopeless romantic over here, Sag. All right, that's what I got for you guys. In terms of zodiac signs, I have a little bit of Virgo energy, Pisces, Sagittarius again, so you could be dealing with another Sag. I have a little bit of Scorpio, Gemini, Sag again, Gemini, Capricorn, Scorpio. So yes, definitely some repeats in here. Doesn't mean it has to be those signs. Those are really the ones jumping out at me. Maybe a little bit of Aries energy too. Okay, that's what I got for you, Sag. I hope this was helpful to you. I don't have any major epiphany here because I think maybe some of you guys just needed this reiterated to you or to hear that, yeah, this is a tricky decision, but your heart already knows what you want, right? So trust your gut, trust your intuition. I would say don't make any snap decisions. I would say really process this. That would be my best advice to you. Anyway, okay, I'm going to stop rambling. Remember to like the video, guys. That really does help me. Yeah, I will see you next week for more tarot. Thanks for joining me here today. Bye, guys.